Welcome back to Out of the Rough. I'm with Debbie Kreger. Debbie Kreger is a Vice President of Market Research and Consulting. So you're a business professional. I've known Debbie for 25 years, but for the past 20 years, you've been in that profession. And Debbie, I wanted to have you on the show as a part of inspiration, because I think there's some great lessons to be learned, because you've had several illnesses and challenges in your life, and I want you to share those with the listeners. You have 3 children and a great career, but 3 weeks before you were to marry Fred, you were diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Yep. Clearly, I was in my first year of graduate school, just finishing up. Found out that I was diagnosed with MS, and the neurologist basically, he knew that we were going to be married in 3 weeks. He called for a conference, sat us down, and he looked to Fred and basically said, you know, your relationship as you know it now will very likely turn into a caretaking relationship, so you might want to take that into consideration before your marriage vows.
Oh, that is a lot.
Yes. I just looked over at my husband, to-be, and he's a wonderful person. He just responded to the neurologist saying, well, I could step off a curb tomorrow, get hit by a bus and be in a wheelchair, and I certainly wouldn't expect my wife to leave me. So it's not going to impact our decisions. Nobody knows what the future holds. And we moved forward. Yeah,
moving forward. But initially you were a little bit shocked, but how did you handle moving forward?
Well, initially the shock creates this, dilemma. What do I do? Do I finish school? Do I still keep my career plans? Do I, no longer, consider having a family? What do I do from there?
Because the stress of having the 3 children, which you had afterwards,
right,
it exasperates the problem.
Right.
Right.
So what I did was I educated myself. I decided I couldn't just curl up in a ball and give up everything that I had, planned and hoped for and worked for, in the future. So I went online. I got second opinions, spoke to other people, informed myself, and with that information, I felt empowered and was able to make decisions with my husband and move forward. And obviously, we chose to continue on the path. Mm-hmm. Started a family, kept my career.
Yep. And I know Sarah, Monica, and Jennifer. They're wonderful children. All 3 girls.
Yeah.
A handful for Fred and you, but wonderful children. But there was a risk there. But then what happens in 2002?
Yeah.
You get the word that you've been diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit more alarming to you because...
Well, obviously, rather than being concerned about my mobility or my potential disability in the future, all of a sudden I'm concerned about my life. Am I going to be around to watch my girls grow up and graduate college and get married, so forth. So the initial shock was probably a little bit stronger. But again, I truly believe that you can't just curl up in a ball and let everything take charge of your life. You need to empower yourself, educate yourself, understand what you're dealing with, and basically with that information, make the best decisions, moving forward. And that's what I did again. I gathered all the information. I found out what my treatment options were and what the risks were and so forth. And as a family, we decided to take a pretty aggressive treatment route. I had surgery and chemo and radiation. And I decided to stay with my career. I continued working through it. And
well, how do people react?
Well, it's interesting because initially, I should say, I was a little reluctant. I didn't want people to see me bald and think I was weak and not capable of performing my duties. And certainly since I was in a sales type position, account management position, I was concerned that I would lose some accounts, that they might think that I wasn't, going to be able to
par.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But I found that it was quite the opposite. I actually let people know when I went to meetings. I'd wear a scarf or a hat, obviously, to cover my baldness. They knew I was going through chemo and treatment for breast cancer. And as it turns out, they were very supportive. They actually, I think, respected me more because I didn't just give up. I moved forward and made sure that whether it was myself or my colleagues, they picked up the slack. And next thing you know, a year later, my business had nearly doubled. Rather than having lost business, it benefited.
You're not alone. And a lot of people need to understand when they get an illness, hey, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to try to move forward in a very positive fashion. And now you're Your career is fantastic. Your marriage to your husband is great. You've been together and through this the whole time, and you have 3 beautiful children. But one thing I must say, one inspirational item that I take from Debbie, and is the fact that Debbie's gone on to help over the breast cancer, 3-day Avon breast cancer walk, and so many different things. And it's almost like a higher power gave that gift to this country because you got into that cause. So thank you very much. Certainly an inspiration to me, and I've known you for so long. But I wanted to bring this inspirational message out.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Deb. Well, I hope you enjoyed this segment in Out of the Rough. And I hope some of the ideas that you got today help get you out of the rough and into success. If you'd like to watch these segments online, go to scvtv.com. That's scvtv.com or fredarnold.com. If you have any questions or you'd like us to address something on the air, email me at fred@fredarnold.com. Until we talk next time, I hope some of these ideas help get you out of the rough, and have a great day. Bye-bye.